If you've always wanted your project management solution to help you understand which resources need to be assigned to which tasks based off of their skills and what skills are required to complete that work, Moovila is able to do that and continue to do that as capacity conflicts arise throughout the flight of that project, so that you always know at any given point in time, if someone is overburdened with too many tasks across all projects, who is the next person available, and do they have the right skills? Are they the same resource type, and do they have the availability in order to get that work done during the time it's originally scheduled, so it doesn't have that opportunity to continue to push that project back, or get you into those last minute dumpster fires, which nobody wants. So I'm going to give you a really quick example for how Moovila is able to proactively suggest and rank which resources should be assigned to which tasks when a capacity conflict actually arises. So taking it to that second level immediately. And I'm going to do that with a very simple project where I have a scope change that was just added to that project. That's going to take 5 days to get that done. Now, if you look over here, our confidence score has dropped to a 960 because I added a new task and I forgot to connect its dependency relationship. So that's one of the cool things about Moovila, is that the confidence score will drop if we're not confident in that forecasted date. So if there's any tasks that aren't woven into the overall flow of the project that could potentially impact the forecast, we want to make sure you know that. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of weave this scope change into this project by connecting it after task 4. Then we'll have our scope change. It's going to start. And then once the scope change happens, then task 6 can be completed. And you'll notice that the scope change actually flops up here to the very top. It's now on the critical path. It's determining that longest chain of dependent tasks. My overall sort of critical path duration is 19 days. So it didn't actually affect the critical path. And that's just because both of the durations are 5 days. But I've assigned it to Susan Lang here. And also I have task dates that are being suggested, the start and the due date, just based off of where I've woven it into the overall flow here. So I'll go ahead and save the dates that Moovila is suggesting for that task. But you're going to notice the score just dropped to a 910. Well, what just happened? I introduced a new conflict, a capacity conflict at that. And if I click on the 2, it's going to show me that Susan Lang was just assigned to both of these tasks. They're both 5 days in duration, and we know the work estimate. And I'll click on this capacity icon to pull it more into a grid view so we can really see what's going on here. So what you're going to notice is both of these tasks were assigned to Susan Lang, and the work estimate on the first one was 20 hours. The second one was 25 hours. So overall, she's got 45 hours of work on her plate within those 5 days. So she's now exceeding her capacity target limitation, which is basically showing if I don't do anything, Moovila is going to expect that she'll be 1 day late on this bottom task here. So I have a couple of options. I could increase the duration on this bottom one, just give her 1 more day to get that done so she's not feeling overburdened, and check to see if it would push back the overall variance of that project. It does by 1 day. So if you can't be 1 day late, your other option would be to go in here and see what other resources are available to take over that work. So Susan Lang, she's a project manager. She has PMP certification. So you'll notice we've got the different users, their resource type, and then any skills that have been associated to that person within the system will show up here. You're also going to notice this capacity column. We know how much work is on each of those resources plates across all projects. So we're going to take their capacity into consideration as we stack rank them in order of who should be the next person that you assign to this task, because we're putting Susan Lang over her capacity limitation. She's now at 180% if she keeps that task assigned to her. So the next best option is actually John Walsh. He's my other project manager. He also has his PMP certification as his skill. And if this work gets assigned to him, he'd only be at 55.6% capacity. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off of Susan's plate, reassign it to John. I'll save that. And now my capacity conflict has completely gone away. My score's back up to a 980. I can be more confident in it now because I've got two different people taking over the scope change and the original task 5 that was scheduled there. So now I have no issues around capacity that I need to worry about at this point. So that's one of the things Moovila is going to be able to do. And as you build a project out from the very beginning, as you can have your templates all set up with the resource type that should be associated to each of those tasks. You can even associate any of those skills that would need to be required for each of those tasks. And then you can also come in, and here's the skills column right here. So every task, you can choose multiple skills that need to be associated with it. But as I come in here, Moovila will suggest who the best person would be. Right now, I already have this assigned to Susan Lang, but if I'm building out a project from the very beginning, it would show me in stack rank the people that would be the top person that I could select as long as they're the same resource type, they have those skills and the available capacity. So it makes project planning so much easier from the very beginning. And then like I showed you in that example, if a capacity conflict is introduced into that project as it's in flight because more work gets added or another project gets delayed, all those different scenarios, projects are always shifting, changing. So new capacity conflicts can always arise. So always knowing who is available to take on that work during the time that it's already scheduled is going to keep things flowing on track. Whether this is an internal project or a client-facing project, ensuring you have the resources to get that work done is a big reason why a lot of projects actually end up getting delayed, because a lot of this turns into a last-minute dumpster fire just because you didn't know that your resource had all that work on their plate. There's never been the data like the data that Moovila is able to provide in a precise manner, all related to your resources and their capacity. So I hope this was helpful. Would love to chat with you further if you have any questions around how Moovila can help you with your capacity of your team members and understanding how much work is on everybody's plate.